What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what really moved it and what shorts did. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So SoFi did go up 1.1%. After hours, it's somewhat erasing a lot of those gains, down 2.01%, and that's because of what just came out associated to Nvidia. But generally today, there was just a lot of fear in the broader market. So SoFi did do fairly well given the circumstances. And so today you did have rating agencies from Europe downgrading the American market in its entirety. You also had JPM lowering their S&P target for the end of the year from 6,500 to 5,200, so virtually no growth. And that's similar to what has happened with Bank of America, where they gave a 4,800. And so it's just all of negativity associated to tariffs. So that's just the hot topic right now. And unfortunately, that's exactly why SoFi is down, even though it's not directly correlated with SoFi exactly, but the US government has permanently banned Nvidia from selling H20 chips to China. So this is causing Nvidia to go down. So they are down currently 5.91%. A lot of other players such as AMD and whatever are down as well. I did buy the dip, so I was lucky enough to buy that. But essentially, yeah, you have just a lot of unnecessary fear, and everything is just stemming from just two stubborn countries not really willing to work together. So it's just a bad scenario. Today, though, you did have this come out. So SoFi booked their 2025 annual shareholder meeting, and so that is scheduled for May the 28th, 2025, 7 a.m. So it's kind of a good thing. So you can obviously you'll get a 12 or 16-digit code, and then you can obviously vote accordingly. Some people like doing these things and like swear by it. I myself, I don't really participate in a lot of these shareholder meetings because just to affirm the accounting firm and whatever else and kind of the directors, it's not really my forte. But again, a lot of people see it as a overly very big deal. So let me know your general thoughts on that. Aside from that, shorts did return 214,000 shares. 12.87% of the free float is being shorted. It works out to be 138.7 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average 0.51 or 0.61. I don't know where I got that from. Cost to borrow minimum is positive, so that's a nice change of events on a side note. But I think overall, shorts returning, it does validate today's green day for SoFi. And I think overall, a lot of the brick and mortar banks have been really having some kick-ass earnings. So yesterday you had Goldman, today you had Citi, Bank of America, all very good earnings. So I think SoFi was somewhat getting a nice boost higher because of that, because a lot of other fintechs did close in the red today. But looking at the options, 5.91 million in calls, 3.62 million in puts. 50% of all the options being done today were bullish in nature. Today was rather low for the total premiums though, so 9.5. Yesterday was 14.5. Day prior was 11. So not necessarily the best, but of the bulls, you do see a consensus for it to be roughly around that 1150 for the most part. And then the bears are anticipating for it to be sub 10. So I don't know. They were probably just betting on just the current circumstances, not really factoring in what just came out after hours. Unless you never know, unless there was some sort of, again, insider trading. It'd be interesting to kind of look at Nvidia's earnings on us, or I mean, their actual options, just to kind of see if there was any abnormal ones kind of playing out. Doesn't look like any outliers right there. But aside from all of that, these are all the transactions that did occur on the secondary market above $100,000. So after hours, one big one, 1.1. Aside from that, 8.6 and then 2.2. Majority of which was selling. So I think just algorithmic trading was really keeping SoFi higher today though. And these are all the transactions occurring on the dark pool. So you have one big one recently that was it 20 minutes ago or something like that, 1.03 million, and then that's basically it. With it closing at $10.94, it did close between these 2 points, so this pivot and this S1. So slightly above this S1 of that 1091, but after hours is kind of dragging it down. So going into tomorrow, just watch for 996 to be a strong support. Flip side, 1091 to be that next strong target / resistance. So again, I think the fact that SoFi is going down is somewhat unjustified because it's not directly correlated with SoFi unless I'm missing some big factor of that. But aside from that, there was one new rating that did come out. No price target was given though, a buy rating though, from William Blair Andrew, who has a 65% success rating. So pretty good for that. Average price target of all the ratings over the last 3 months, $13.33, and that does represent a 21.85% upside. So we are getting to that stage where it's close enough to SoFi's earnings where you randomly start getting ratings. Again, I've always complained about this because it doesn't logically make that much sense, but again, just anticipate a lot of ratings to come out. But on the actual chart, there's not really much to really bring up. Right now, it's just wedge bound between that ALMA and also that 200-day moving average. So these 2 points right here, and even after hours, it's kind of hitting that point, that ALMA of $10.72. So not the best. I think SoFi was building some pretty good momentum aside from the after hours activity, ready to really push higher. But again, we can't really time. It's hard to invest, as I've kind of expressed in the past. It's very difficult given the circumstances of what's happened to really time the bottom. Anything can happen, and if you do tons of due diligence, research, and you choose to invest, tomorrow everything will flip. New tariffs will be implemented, and then all your DD is going to be just out the window. So it's really hard to catch the bottom. So I think just dollar cost averaging is the way to go. That's what I've been doing with SoFi. And so this is my portfolio that I just created. Threw in, I think, around 92 grand or something like that. So slowly buying some stuff. So I did buy Adobe yesterday. After hours, I did just do these 2 transactions today, not too much. So 1 share of NVIDIA, 105. So that got filled, pushing a little bit higher after that. And then AMD, I did buy 5 shares at $88. But like I said, I'm just going to be dollar cost averaging, throwing $500 here and there at these stocks. So yeah, I think overall a lot of these stocks should do fairly well. Nike obviously is getting hit quite hard by the tariffs. Lucid is the only one here that isn't profitable, but I really obviously like Lucid and so forth. So let me know your general thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Give yourself a shout out if you have been buying SoFi. Have you been selling? What have you been doing behind the scenes? And then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some kick-ass buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point and bangers. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.